Hello everyone, it's Matt here. Today we are going to do a new thing. We're going to call it Cook and Talk. What we're going to do is we're going to today make a bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. And then I'm also going to talk about an airplane while waiting for it to cook. Just randomly thought of this morning. Big shout out to Tony from I Am Hungry Now. This is pretty much an inspiration. So to a cooking video. Let's start. First off, what I like to do is have obviously our great pork tenderloin. What I like to do next is I like to marinate the meat. To do that, I have a Clubhouse Montreal steak spice. What I do is I will put the pork tenderloin in a Ziploc bag, like so, and shreds lined up on the bottom. I then take the marinade, and then I usually put half a bottle inside the Ziploc bag with the pork. What I do is I shake it up, like so, and then fold the bag in, as to not let the marinade go all over the bag since everything's at the bottom. Close up. And then I fold it even more, and then I let this sit in the fridge overnight. But since it's a 10-minute YouTube video, we don't have overnight, so what I've done is last night I've gone and done this. Clubhouse says it's a 30-minute marinade. I'm pretty sure they're right. I don't necessarily agree to it. I am a person who likes to have the meat marinate overnight. Put it in before you go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and give your meat a good rub before you go to the washroom. So this has been overnight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the bag. I'm going to put it on the old cutting board, like so. And then what I usually do is I take my bacon, which is the front pack. One thing about bacon is make sure you buy something that's not cheap. I am a firm believer of you get what you pay for. Cheap bacon is cheap bacon. This is a little bit mid-range, Maple Leaf. Store brands, they do have the cheap stuff and it's very flimsy, you can't work with it. Some of them store brands have something that is a bit mid-range, a bit of thicker cut. What I do is open bacon, and then what I do is take a few strips and then I line them up on the cutting board as to not make a mess of it when I go to roll the tenderloin on bacon. You can see, just neatly put it in rows. And if this was a thin sliced bacon, this would not be working out so well right now. Okay. Alright, there you go. Everything's all nice laid up. What I do is I then take the pork tenderloin, put it just maybe an inch past behind the bacon. I will then take the bacon, just lay it up on the tenderloin, and then I will roll it as such. Okay. Once it's rolled up, I then take my pan A little bit of pan cooking spray to prevent it from sticking to the pan. Nice even layer there, and then onto that pan. Now my cooking method of choice today is my Breville Smart Oven. What we're going to do today is 350 at 15 minutes. To start it off, so I'm going to preheat the oven. Beginning out, when I start to cook, I prefer to cook with a smaller oven rather than a larger oven. No point in using a full-size oven to cook a rather single piece of meat. So I learned to cook a lot using a small toaster oven. So when the wife and I were looking at our small toaster oven, we decided it wasn't going to be a feature, so we went with the Breville Smart Oven, since it does a whole bunch of other things other than just cook meat. What we're going to do now is I'm going to cover this in foil. Actually, before you do that, the leftover marinade, you have two choices. You can just drizzle it over the tenderloin a little bit at first. I'm going to keep a little bit for when we're done part one of cooking it. Or you can take a flavor injector and just flavor inject into the tenderloin. I have one of those. We'll have to do that in a future video. Then what I do is, because I am cooking it in a convection mode in my toaster oven, I don't want it to burn. I don't want it to cook right away on the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it in aluminum foil. Make sure it's covered. And into the oven it goes. Shouldn't take too long for this oven to preheat, since it was preheated before I started. So that covers that. Here we are, to 15 minutes of cooking. Alright, so while we wait for the tenderloin to cook, let's talk about my latest purchase. And there is the oven finished preheating, so let's start. Okay, so my latest purchase is the Boeing 777-300ER for Air New Zealand. It was made by Phoenix. DJ's Aviation has already done a splendid review of this, so I'm not going to go too detailed into it, but I do want to talk about it since there's nothing else to do on the way flat. I have 58 planes in my collection, or actually 57, waiting on number 58, patiently waiting for the JC Wings Blue to show up. So JC Wings, if you're watching, get that thing to me. I have 57 planes, and I'm not going to review all of them since they all date back to the early 2000s. So what I think I want to do going forward is doing something cool like this and reviewing a past model. So pretty much, since this has been reviewed by someone else, I just want to quickly touch upon and give my point of view. First off is the box. Something I should have talked about in my last video with the Air Canada Max and the Air Canada A321, saying that Phoenix and Gemini Jets have different kinds of packaging, and Phoenix, their packaging varies every single time. It is not consistent. But this one I do like. Black case, black box, with the all black logo on the back. Licensed by Boeing. Reason why I bought this plane was an old office bet from years and years ago when Air New Zealand and Boeing did a video cooperatively of the rollout of this plane when it came out of the paint shop when Air New Zealand took delivery of it, featuring the New Zealand rugby team, the All Blacks. Buddy and I figured we had a bet to see who would have this in the collection first. Sure enough, I won. Even though it's been nearly 10 years later. So I'm going to talk about the 777 itself. It's a fantastic bowl. Antennas on top and the bottom. wings are attached to the fuselage very good, no gaps or anything of that nature. In terms of livery and paint, this isn't the original livery from when it was delivered. It was revised a few years ago. So there used to be a white leaf and a gray leaf. Now it's just a single white leaf at the back. Otherwise, it is very, very smooth, no rippling. It does have the Phoenix logo at the bottom. Everything's very accurate. A lot of the static ports and other features, doors, are painted on that are not included in the mold. In terms of engines, the engines on these planes are thankfully not silver. This is something Phoenix gets. And they are painted a slightish dark gray, even though it should be more of a flat black. What really does surprise me with the engines is that since it's a G90, I would have expected the fan blades to be a bit more thick and see-through, seeing that this is a relatively large engine, and a lot of the model manufacturers are going in that direction to try to provide that see-through look. Otherwise, it is a very, very, very good looking engine. In terms of size and airport GSE, I'm not going to pull the airport out while we're doing this, but the plane is 16.3 centimeters wide, 18 centimeters long, and is 4.6 centimeters tall. In terms of GSE, I did have another Phoenix plane with GSE, and everything worked out fine. It was a good fit. You can find those photos on my Instagram, AC8215. Landing gear. One thing I do like is that they tilt. They are made out of rubber. There are some chunky parts on tires. Sorry, disappointed with that. The one thing, another category that I don't usually touch in my videos, that one thing I'm going to touch in this video and my next video is durability. And the reason why I'm going to say durability is when you do take them out of the box, especially if you're in your workplace and everyone's going, airplane, it gets handled a lot, and it gets put down, picked up, put down. One thing is, when I did get this at the office, it was handled a little bit, and unfortunately, the nose gear tire did fall off. And it's a pretty busy workplace on the floor, so it was a few minutes to find a tire, pop back on, and every time someone would pick it up, I'd be like, well, be careful, because the tire did fall off. I do have a Gemini Jet 777. I want to talk about the next video about durability, because that is a really good story. But in terms of the durability, construction can be better within those gear on this plane. I don't know how, but it's something I was utterly shocked and disappointed with. Overall, I'm just excited to have this plane, just because, like I said, it was an old bet I needed to resolve, and it is a plane that I eventually do want to ride on. And I'm excited to fly here in New Zealand, considering looking for New Zealand. The sky couch that's in the economy section, and just everything. That's such a great airline. And we are now 8 minutes away from flipping this over. See you in a couple minutes. Alright, now we're back. We have done our first 15 minutes of cooking. So what I usually do two things. First off is I will pull off the aluminum foil. Look, safety. Pull off the aluminum foil. That is looking cute. See if I see that. Oh, yep, that's looking good. So both of them. Well, next, like to check the temperature, see how things are wearing so far. Websites say Tenderloin to keep it nice and juicy. You want between 140, 150 Fahrenheit. So pop that in and pop it in so that the camera can see. So we're holding around 135 Fahrenheit, which is where I would have wanted it, where I was hoping. So things are looking good. Okay, so earlier I had taken out the Tenderloin from the. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Take out the Tenderloin from the plastic bag. What I'm going to do is I am going to turn it over. That sounds good. Turn it over. See, there you go. Turn it over. And then from the Ziploc bag, I am going to pour the remainder of the marinade from earlier. The bag melt. Okay, that's a bit more. That's better. Okay, that is wonderful. That's that. Now, like I said earlier, I didn't want to burn it from cooking the first half. So to get that color and to finish off the cooking, I'm going to leave it uncovered. And instead of roasting it for the last bit, because this is a smart oven, it can do a lot of things, I'm going to go from roast to broil. Leave it high for 10 minutes, and that should get us there. Alright, so our 10 minutes of roasting is up, so we're going to take it out of the toaster oven. It's up there. Alright. See how it's turned out. Not all the grease. Oh, sounds good. My baking pan deformed while roasting there. Oh, it's not like this oven. Okay. Temperature check. Just to see how things are at. Burn my hands. Okay, so we've passed rare. 43. Oh, there you go. So, it's cooked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it half. Right there. Click pink in the middle, rare. Like I said, otherwise, good to go. Still juicy. Thank you for watching, everyone. Been a first from Vicky. Like, share, subscribe. Hope this video doesn't go viral since it's only the first one. But thank a store, but this is eBay, so thank eBay for the 777. And for those who are Canadian, I'm trying to see if I want a Jeep. Nope, play again. So all I get to do is put this in here, and for a side, just instant mashed potatoes and gravy. Makes me happy. Potatoes. And gravy. Alright, thank you everyone, and bon appetit.